Picture this. You're standing in a semi-crowded room. Maybe it's a party, a networking event, or just the break room at work. Someone walks up to you. They smile. They ask, "So, how have you been?" And suddenly, nothing. Your mind goes blank, completely white. It's like someone pulled the plug on your personality. You can hear the hum of the refrigerator. You can hear your own heartbeat thumping in your ears. The silence stretches out, thick and suffocating, for what feels like an eternity. You desperately search the archives of your brain for literally anything interesting to say, but all you find is dust. You mumble something generic like, "Good, busy," and you watch the light fade from their eyes. The conversation dies a slow, painful death. Later, you lie in bed replaying that moment, thinking, "Why am I so boring? Why can't I just be normal?" If that knot in your stomach feels familiar, I need you to listen very closely. You are not boring, you are not broken, and you certainly don't have nothing to say. In fact, the problem is the exact opposite. Your brain is working too well. In this video, I'm going to flip your understanding of social anxiety on its head. I'm going to show you that your silence isn't an emptiness, it's a traffic jam. And I'm going to give you a psychological toolkit to clear that jam, silence your inner critic, and become the kind of person who can talk to anyone, anywhere. The diagnosis: the filter problem. Here is the truth that nobody tells you about awkward silences. You don't have an information problem. You have a filtering problem. Right now, as you listen to me, your brain is generating hundreds of thoughts per minute. You're noticing the lighting in the room. You're remembering an email you forgot to send. You're thinking about what you want for dinner. You're judging the shirt I'm wearing. But there is a gatekeeper in your head, a harsh, hypercritical editor. Every time a thought bubbles up during a conversation, this editor slams it down with a gavel. "No, that's too weird. They won't care about that. That's too random. You'll sound stupid." This internal critic is stealing your words before they even reach your lips. You aren't speechless because you're empty. You're speechless because you're a perfectionist. You're waiting for the perfect sentence, the one that makes you sound smart, funny, and cool, but while you're waiting for gold, the conversation starves. So how do we fire the editor? How do we open the floodgates? Technique 1. The 5-second decision rule. The first method is a game changer. I call the 5-second decision rule. It's terrifyingly simple, but it rewires the neural pathways that trigger social anxiety. Here's the rule. When someone speaks to you, you have exactly 5 seconds to say the very first thing that pops into your head. Not the second thought, not the polished version, the raw, unedited first instinct. Why? Because your first instinct is usually where your personality lives. It's authentic. The filter is where the boring, safe, robotic responses come from. Let's say someone tells you, "I just bought a new car." Your filter wants you to say, "Oh, cool, what model?" Safe, boring, dead end. But your first thought might have been, "Oh man, I hate car dealerships. I always feel like I'm getting scammed." Or maybe, "I haven't driven in 3 years. I'm terrified of the highway." Your filter screams, "Don't say that. It's negative. It's weird." But guess what? That weird thought is a hook. If you say, "I always feel like I'm getting scammed at dealerships," suddenly you're in a real conversation about negotiation, trust, or funny horror stories about salespeople. You've moved from a transaction to a human connection. Try this today. Set a mental timer. When a thought appears, you must release it before the clock hits 5. You will be shocked to discover that people don't want you to be perfect. They want you to be real. If you are tired of letting anxiety dictate your life and you want to unlock the true potential of your psychology, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We are building a community here of people who are ready to stop surviving and start thriving. Don't miss the next breakdown. It might just be the one that changes everything for you. Technique 2. Strategic ignorance. Okay, moving deeper. There is a misconception that the best conversationalists are the smartest people in the room. We think we need to impress people with facts, logic, and our own achievements.
This is a trap. It's an ego trap that kills connection. The most charismatic people in the world use a tool called strategic ignorance. This means playing dumb about things you might actually understand, or simply allowing yourself to be the student. Let's say you're talking to someone and they mention they work in graphic design. Maybe you know a bit about Photoshop. The temptation is to say, "Oh yeah, I use Adobe Suite sometimes." That shuts the door. You've just made the conversation about you. Strategic ignorance says, lean back, be a curious 12-year-old. Ask, "I've always wondered, what does a typical day actually look like for a designer? Do you just draw all day, or is it mostly dealing with crazy clients?" Even if you know the answer, asking the question gives the other person a gift, the gift of feeling like an expert, the gift of status. I learned this by watching the best talk show hosts. The host often knows the subject, but they ask, "Wait, how does that even work?" When you lower your own status and elevate theirs, they will literally queue up to talk to you. You aren't trying to prove you're interesting. You are proving that they are interesting, and that is addictive. Technique 3. The threading theory, the gold mine. Now we arrive at the secret weapon. This is the technique that eliminates the awkward silence forever. It is called threading. Most people view conversation like a game of tennis. One ball. I hit it to you, you hit it to me. If one of us drops the ball, the game ends. Panic sets in. But a master conversationalist sees a conversation not as a tennis ball, but as a spider web. Every single sentence someone speaks contains multiple threads, multiple hooks that you can grab onto to branch the conversation in a new direction. Let's look at an example. Imagine someone says to you, "I was supposed to meet my friend Sarah for brunch yesterday, but she canceled last minute because her dog got sick. So I just ended up trying that new Korean place alone." The average person hears one thing: bad day. They respond with, "Oh, that sucks. Is the dog okay?" That's fine, but you've just narrowed the world down to one topic, the dog. If the dog is fine, the conversation is over. Now look at that sentence again through the lens of threading. 1. The friend thread. How long have you known Sarah? 2. The flake thread. I hate last-minute cancellations. 3. The dog thread. What kind of dog does she have? 4. The food thread. I love Korean food. Did they have good kimchi? 5. The solitude thread. Going to a restaurant alone? That is a bold move. Do you see what happened? That one sentence wasn't a dead end. It was a map with 5 different roads. The mistake we make is we get tunnel vision. We focus on the most obvious noun. I want you to start listening for the hidden nouns and the emotions. When you practice threading, you realize it is mathematically impossible to run out of things to say, because every answer they give you spawns 3 new threads. You just have to pick the one that fascinates you the most. This concept of threading is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to social dynamics. If you want a dedicated video on how to read body language so you know exactly which threads someone wants you to pick, let me know in the comments below. Type body language, and if we get enough requests, I'll make that complete guide for you. Technique 4. The emergency kit and the exit. Even with threading, even with the 5-second rule, sometimes the brain just freezes. Maybe you're tired. Maybe they really are giving you one-word answers. For those moments, you need an emergency kit. These are break glass in case of emergency scripts. Keep these in your back pocket. 1. The contextual observation. Look around. I love the vibe of this place, but the music is so intense. It feels like we're in a spy movie. 2. The cold read. Make an assumption about them. You seem like someone who travels a lot. If you're right, you're a wizard. If you're wrong, they will correct you, and boom, new conversation thread. 3. The hypothetical. Random question. If you could teleport anywhere right now, where would you go? But here is the final piece of the puzzle that nobody teaches: how to end the conversation. Half of social anxiety isn't about talking, it's about the fear of being stuck. You keep talking because you don't know how to leave without being rude. Here's the perfect exit formula: appreciation, reason, plus bridge. 1. Appreciate. This has been such a fun conversation. 2. Reason. I actually need to go say hi to the host, grab some food, or head out soon. 3. Bridge. I'd love to hear how that project turns out, though. Let's catch up properly soon. You leave on a high note. You don't trail off. You take control.
The core philosophy. Let's bring this home. The techniques, threading, strategic ignorance, the 5-second rule, they are powerful tools, but they are just tools. The foundation of all of this is a simple shift in mindset.
Stop trying to perform. Stop trying to be the content creator of the conversation. Connection doesn't happen when you are perfect. It happens when you are present. It happens when you stop monitoring yourself and start witnessing the person in front of you. The world is starving for attention. If you can be the person who gives that attention freely, who listens without judgment, and who speaks without a filter, you won't just be someone who has things to say. You will be the person everyone wants to listen to. Go out there, drop the filter, and let the threads appear. Thanks for watching.